Hey everyone, welcome back to the Grow Your Tutoring Business podcast, episode 3. In just a moment, you're going to meet Katie, who started her tutoring business in October last year and was earning more than a full-time income by March. So within 6 months, she's grown her business from nothing into earning more than what she was earning as a teacher. She's going to share some of her secrets with you of how she supercharged her business. Let's jump straight to the good stuff. Okay, thanks, Katie, for joining us on the podcast. I'm really excited to have you on. We've just been speaking before we recorded sort of off screen, if you like, and it's been quite bubbly, quite laughy. So I'm hoping that we have some fun along the way. Probably the best thing to kick off here is where we've done with every single podcast so far, which is just tell us a little bit about your journey away from teaching and into tutoring. What kind of started it off? How did you start? What went well at the beginning?
So I was teaching full time, and then I had my baby in October, and on maternity leave, I was just thinking I wanted something more flexible, and I just thought I don't want the long travel time and the long evenings, and I just thought there's got to be something I can do that I can still do what I love, but not as much or not as intense. So initially I thought I'll do part-time teaching and tutoring on the side, because I used to do tutoring about 10 years ago, but it was at a point where I did a couple in a week, and I wasn't charging much at all, and it was just like a little bit of a side thing I did. And I just thought I'll do that with some part-time teaching. But then as I started to I set up my Facebook page, and then things started rolling in, and then I thought, oh, actually, because I would have been happy with a couple a week. I would have been just, and then I thought, oh, actually, I don't think I need to do that part-time teaching. I think this is it. And I got really excited.
So Katie, how long did it take you to realize that was going to be the case?
I think it was a couple of months. I officially started in full-time, maybe March, I think. It took a couple of months, and then I thought, oh, okay, so because I didn't realize that tutoring could be full-time. I had no idea. There's a whole world out there, and there's loads of parents that want tutoring, and I had no idea. And I really wish I'd done this years ago.
So the time scale, like your daughter is this your eldest daughter, Daisy?
Oh, so Summer was in October, so she's the baby.
So you started this, so how long have you been going for?
Oh, since March time.
So just March?
Yeah.
This year, March. Do you know, I completely assumed that it was Daisy, your eldest, that you did it 9 years ago.
Oh no,
so much sooner. I mean, in the recent. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, look, this is incredible. We're going to dig a little bit deeper. So, you started off as you've done it before, done a bit of tutoring before, as a bit of a side hustle, maybe 2 a week. There'll be lots of people who are like, oh, that's me right now. I'm just like dabbling at it, and within a couple of months, you realise that whatever you were doing could actually just be scaled up to be able to replace it. Have you replaced your teacher income? Has it happened?
Yeah, it's more, and I was shocked, because I thought, because I also thought, no way could I enjoy something so much but also be able to spend time with my family. I just thought this is a dream. No. But it can be done.
It is almost like something that's out of reach when you're teaching full time. It doesn't feel possible. And how does it feel now? I mean, because it's still quite fresh for you, because it's still March. How does it feel? Like, this is your first summer holiday. How does that feel? Because lots of people are scared about the holidays. Tell us a little bit about that.
I didn't know how to tackle it, if that's the right word, because I thought, right, I want to spend as much time as I can with my girls. I know I still need to tutor, because I can't have 6 weeks off. That's the only thing, the downside if you will, about tutoring is you don't get the sick pay or you don't get the holidays kind of thing. But so I knew I had to do something, but I didn't want to do a couple a day. I thought, right, I'm going to do 12 days where it's 9 to 8 p.m. So those are quite intense days. The rest of the time with the family, and that's worked really well. And I think I've got the balance right as much as I can this summer.
So you've worked 12 days, 9 a.m. till 8 p.m. So you've crammed everything into 12 days so you can have those up basically 4 weeks with your family, basically.
There's been the odd 1 or 2 in those 4 weeks that I couldn't finish.
That's the flexibility, isn't it? The flexibility of your job actually allows you to do that. Katie, let's just get into a little bit more about the tutoring, about what you actually offer and a little bit of your background. So what's your background in teaching?
So I've a primary school teacher for 15 years, on and off. When I've had maternity leave, obviously I've gone off. I've done part-time teaching. I did 5 years where I had a messy play business.
Okay.
The baby and toddler, so I had a complete break from teaching then. But then thinking about it, perhaps I should have been doing tutoring then as well. I didn't know that it was an option, but so I've had fits and starts, but I've always been working with children the 15 years, whether it be babies and toddlers or up to
I suppose like if it's like that messy play at toddlers, that's families, right? Parents as well.
Yes, yeah.
So, has that helped in your tutoring business? Has that kind of been an overlap?
Yes, because obviously that was, well, not more of a business, but it was a business as well. So I've taken things from that, things like social media, talking with parents and, things like that. It does all kind of intertwine. I'm just with older children now. But yeah, I think it has helped me, and I love working for myself. I'm not saying I'm the best in the world, but I'm very good to myself.
I love that. But do you know, not everybody is like this. So not everybody will go and work for themselves and set up and go, oh, this is amazing. But there will be quite a large percentage that will struggle at first because there's all kind of weird things you've got to get used to. But once you get used to just sort of being your own boss, being your own manager, being in charge of how you structure your time, and it really is the structure that sets people apart. Some people can put the structure in place and just run with it, whereas others need that accountability. And so they need something else running in the background, whether that be even like a group like ours or anything. It could just be a local group of business people they just reach out to every now and again. Having a structure in place really helps. But the fact that you can go like exactly what you did, because you know what, the summer holidays is a bit of a headache. What could I do? I know, I'm just going to do this and see if it works. And you can try it. And there's the only person that then could moan about it is you to yourself if it's worked or not worked. And you go, what can I do? The kind of evaluation and the ongoing stuff. So it's really interesting. I love that you've made the summer work like that. I think I've got a lot to learn from you, actually. I'd like to do something like that, if I'm honest. It's been a bit of a crazy summer. Okay.
Sorry, I had to... so it was a collaboration as well with my husband, of course, because if he had the girls from 9 to 8 o'clock, so it had to be that we were both happy and he needed to work as well. So it was we had to juggle everything, but we kind of sat down and mapped out the timetable and so it's really good to have that support as well, I think.
I was just about to add that in. I think you're totally right, and that's been a common theme so far with people I just chat to, not just the podcast, but those who have managed to move away from the classroom and do something full time, whether it's tutoring or maybe tutoring alongside something different, is that juggling around the times when they didn't usually need to worry about childcare. Suddenly go, do you know what? We need to sit down and figure all of this out because it's not easy. I mean, like you've got a 9-year-old, a 7-year-old, and a 10-month-old. That's not an easy mix altogether, is it? Like, how do you keep a 9 and 7-year-old happy and content during the summer holidays, as well as like a 10-month-year-old who just needs completely different things. So it's not easy. You have to sit down and plan it out, right? You've got to have a plan. And the more support that you've got around you, the easier that is, whether it's your your husband, your partner, grandparents, close friends, and people who don't have that network. It's definitely a challenge. Like, you've got to go out and find other things. And some of those things are expensive.
Oh, absolutely.
Aren't
Yeah.
they? You know, if you I need to work, even just do 9 till 3, well, some places that's £110 for the day for a sports camp. And if you've got, or an activity camp, you've got 2 to do that. It's tough, isn't it? So yeah, these things do need careful planning. And I think if you've got a supportive network around you, definitely makes life a lot easier anyway. That's amazing. Thank you. So tell us a little bit about your like the because it's so interesting. It's happened so recently. Like, so you started in the October, like
so I had summer in my baby in the October. I started thinking about it in January. I took a couple of friends' children's on, kind of to test the water.
Yeah.
I was very nervous when I started because I think you get imposter syndrome. Have you heard of that?
Yeah. Well, everybody gets it. It's one of those, we just have self-doubts. Yeah.
And I just thought, oh, is anyone going to want tutor from me? Why me? What can I offer? So it took me a couple of months to really get myself going, and from March it's been full time. So sorry, what was your question?
that was pretty much it. Like that journey, like the October of having like summer.
Yeah.
Your child, we should say your child summer, right? Your daughter summer. Like, so it sounds like we're going to get the seasons muddled up, but we're not. And then by March, you were then full time. It moved towards full time from there. I mean, that's a very quick journey into full time tutoring. And you said as well that covered your teacher income, which is what we're interested in. Right? When we first start and we want to kind of go, I don't know about tutoring. Can I really do it? The people have done it will go, yeah, of course you can. But there's still an element in your head like, yeah, are you just one of the lucky ones?
That's it. That's exactly it. Yeah.
And so it's great to know that this was so recent that. And you did it so quickly. There's still I don't want to take away from the achievements of what you did between October and March, because you would have put things in place for it to happen. Tell us a little bit about the things you had to have in place that helped you go full time in March. What did you have sort of running in the background?
I've just got a Facebook page because I was thinking, do I need a website? And I haven't had a website. So I set one up and I asked all my friends and family to share it. And I think the key, I guess the key of what I've done is I've just been consistent on my Facebook page. I post pretty much every day and it's all different things. And I try and do things where people either like it or share it. I post in groups and that's all I do. And
do you do face-to-face or are you online?
Yes. So I do, I think it's pretty much half and half.
Okay.
From September, I'm going to start doing online groups, which I haven't done before.
Cool.
I'm really excited about.
Yeah.
I do like the face-to-face, and I do like my after-school children as well. So I like that variety. Which is
okay, so you've gone completely hybrid, so it's kind of almost 50-50.
Yes.
And I love that you're moving towards groups so quickly, because for lots of us starting out, like groups is almost, it feels out of reach, like we don't quite know how to sell it to parents, because parents generally love the one-to-one. Like when they're going to go and pay for it, they love it. And I'm not saying it's an easy thing, because it's not, because you still got to get them to like what you do and then buy. But when you add in the mix, I'm going to do small groups or large groups, sometimes it's large groups, but it's like, I don't know. Then there's to get more objections, and you've got to kind of come up with answers. So how are you going about sort of promoting your groups? How are you going to sort of convince parents that it's okay?
Well, it's just home educated children.
You can do it during the day.
So I do my tutoring during the days, all home educated children, either online or face to face, and these groups, and then after school is a bit of online and face to face. but just the home educating Facebook groups. I've just been posting on there, and I've just I don't really know.
Your group, the groups that you're offering, Katie, what are they covering?
So I'm just doing, at the moment I'm doing geography and science, key stage 2 groups. I just wanted to do something that I enjoy teaching, because I found when I was teaching in a classroom, because I love geography, I love traveling, I love learn about different countries, I absolutely love it. And but I found that when I was teaching full time, you're so set in the curriculum and what you've got to teach, and it's, you know, all these boxes you've got to tick, and you can't deviate from the plan.
Yeah, it can be so restrictive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I wanted to offer something that I really enjoy. So my next thing I'd like to do is history group, and yeah, just and topics that I love teaching. I just want to do things that, you know, it sounds a bit selfish, doesn't it? But
no, so I do a course which I call From Beginner to Pro, and in there we actually talk about this, and we say about what I say about writing down services which you would love to offer, like, and it can be whatever you want, and it doesn't even have to be part of the curriculum. It can be whatever you want, because I believe that if you're passionate, well, it doesn't have to be about passion even. It could be just sharing your knowledge, but then also share your passion at the same time. And I'm not even along the line. I always get a bit boring, if I'm honest. I bore people. It's like, oh, you can monetize that. And I'm like, well, I don't want to monetize it. I was like, okay, that's cool, but just share it anyway, because people will latch onto it. And like, even if like you're lacking an idea for your Facebook post or whatever, just share something that you really like. And it doesn't even have to be, say you're a key stage 3 maths teacher and that's what you're offering, but you love geography as well, and you like traveling. If you share things about geography and traveling and a bit of yourself anyway, people are going to like it. It doesn't always have to be, what you post doesn't always have to relate to everything that you do in your business. It can be about you personally. And so what I get people to do, or ask people to do, is write down between 5, I used to say 15 is the magic number, because it makes you think a little bit deeper. If you say write 3 things down, people will come up with 3 things. Write 5, they might be able to come up with 5. 10 can be in stretch, but 15's hard work. Write 15 things down that you would love to teach people about, love to talk about, and then rank it on, then put them in order. What's number 1? What's number 2? What's number 3? They're the things you should be focusing on, because that will bring you joy in your life. What advice would you give to someone starting out who's looking at their side hustle or potential side hustle right now and going, I just don't know enough about business? What would you say to them?
I would say you learn as you go. I'm not a business person at all. I think people they buy from a person that they want to get to know you and things. And if they like you, then they're more likely to tell other people and things like that. So from a business point of view, I just think you just got to do it, because as soon as I published my Facebook page, I felt so much better because I'd just been worrying. I thought, well, you know, life's too short, and what we did is we worked out our, is it called a bottom line?
Your lowest amount possible for the month. Yeah.
If you do that, work out how many sessions you need to try and fill, and then just if you're excited and you're passionate.
So it sounds like you had that strategy and a plan in place anyway, but you're also saying, I'm not very business minded, but that's a very business minded thing to do.
That's true. Maybe I am. I just don't feel like I am.
But there's like a mindset shift, isn't there? Like, I'm a teacher becoming a business person, or have you always been a business person who was actually a teacher? Like that flipping around, and then start thinking, because I mean, I'm in terms of a business a few years ahead, and now I look back and think, oh, do you know what? If I'd have just had this system, but the one I've got now, like 3 years ago, I'd be even further. And I know that's hindsight, right? And that's how we evaluate and get better in the future. But there's something I learned a little while ago, was this flipping around of the perception of self, which is, am I this person doing that, or am I that person doing this? And as soon as I started taking it a bit more seriously, after I was like, actually, I probably am a business person, but just ended up in teaching. I did a business degree, so I kind of had a bit of an idea that that was who I wanted to be when I was younger, but never really went for it. But now it's like, actually, if I'm a business person, what do business people do? And I started behaving like a business person rather than a teacher. And so the business grew. The teaching takes care of itself because I love teaching. I love working with children. I love working with families. That was all okay anyway. I just needed to look after that and nurture that side of it, which I haven't done for a long, long while. And so just switching it around can make a massive difference.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's really interesting. I never thought of it that way.
To start nurturing the other side. But well, I think you have anyway, because you are behaving like a business person. That's just happening already. Look, what tends to happen is we need a strategy and a plan. And if you're already doing strategy and plans, you're probably going to be okay, Katie. You're going to be all right. That's really interesting. Look, I'm gonna try and move it forward. I'm going to do that really horrible interview question of where do you see yourself in 5 years' time? But I'm going to try and wrap it into a business sense. So there's a purpose to it rather than SLT trying to work out if you're trying to steal their job or not. Okay, so there's not a loaded question from me. This is actually it's a genuine question. If I did wave a magic wand and all you had from now for the next 5 years was all the successes that you could dream of, what does your business, your tutoring business look like?
Oh wow. I think so 5 years time. So I think all my children will be in school.
Yeah.
So my dream, and it seems a bit, not out there, but it would just be to possibly be 9 to 5 tutoring, online groups. I'm about to do some training in Lego therapy for one of my students. So I'd like to offer that as well. And I'd just like to do it 9 to 5, and then, that's it kind of thing. Okay. That is where I see it. I don't really see me like taking on employers or things like that. That's
okay. Oh, no. That's not at that point. So you 5 years time, the dream would be, I've worked really hard to make sure my daytime is full. Yeah. And then I'd be happy with that. That would be. I mean, sorry. You're quite close now.
Yeah, I mean, it is full, but my timetable, I've got in things like, well, it seems silly saying it out loud, but I've got baby groups that I want to take summer to, and I've got swimming lessons that I want to be there for. I want to be there to see my eldest at her gymnastics, that kind of thing. Those are in my timetable. They are non-negotiables. Yeah. So I guess it would just be to be, I don't.
Are you talking like with your family in mind? Is it just about being present now? Like, I'm available.
Yes. So I guess that would be evenings, because of course tutoring goes into the evenings, and, I work Saturdays as well. Well, I will be in September. And it's just, I think, and it's just teaching what I love. And I mean, I'd love to, the ultimate dream, I think if we're talking ultimate dreams. Yeah, go on.
Let's talk ultimate dream.
I would change my name to the Traveling Tutor, and I would take my family and we would just travel, and I'd be tutoring as I go. That would be.
There is someone called the Traveling Tutor.
Oh, is there? Oh no.
She might even be in the group. And there's no, it's cool, because you should go and check her out. She's on Instagram. There's two, and I don't know why I get them muddled up. But there's two, and it's either someone called Jenny. Oh, and I can't remember the other one now. But research it, because it's really interesting. Really interesting. Because of course, but if you went down if you moved away from face-to-face completely, because you do that hybrid approach and went online, as long as you've got a good Wi-Fi connection, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah, I mean, that would be just amazing.
I mean, you got a 10-month-year-old who's like perfect for being home educated from now for the next 16 years. So potentially you could take your whole family off anywhere you wanted. And there's have you heard of a guy called Ferriss?
No.
Right, so nurturing your business head, right? Go and follow a guy called Tim Ferriss. He's got this book called The 4 Hour Work Week. Changed my life. It's the first book I read about 3 years into teaching. When I first started going, actually, I love teaching, but there was a part of me that was like, I'm a bit more of a business head, so I started reading these books, and it just opened up a world of other possibilities. And what he talks about in there is a really basic concept of, you could go and travel around a country like, let's just say the Philippines, for example. Where cost of living is ridiculous. You can travel around and on like £5 a day, and that's going to feed everybody and keep everybody in a life of luxury for a while. But then you could tutor in the evening someone in the States for $40 an hour, which keeps you going for the next 8 days. Yeah. But you could do that twice a day, and so you can leverage your time and your money traveling around the world. Which is it's a lot more common. It is a lot more common now because we do have there's freedom of movement pretty much wherever you go. Although obviously in the continent we can only have 3 months now before we have to come back. But you can leverage that time and money in a completely different way, which before was probably closed. Well, as a teacher, was closed off to us because we couldn't go traveling at all. And if you did, it cost you thousands and thousands of pounds because you can only do it in these set times when, it's ridiculous money. So when you've got a young family, it's genuinely something you could go and do. Although, it still scare me silly. Yeah. that initial thing, that initial decision, and like, do you put them out of school? Do you go and do this? But go out. There's so much support out there. Definitely go and follow the Traveling Tutor because it's worth.
Oh, I will. Lovely.
So that's interesting. I mean, like you had like this dream, but actually, when you go a bit deeper, it's a lot bigger than just your 9 till 5. You could
work it out as well.
This is what it's all about. I think this is what it's all about. And when you're running a business, like, you can start to plan. Look, you've already made loads of plans. Go back, do your strategy. 5 years' time, where could we be? How are we going to get there? You're already good at this. You grew your business within like just a few months to full-time income. Imagine what you could achieve in 5 years. Like, that's
wow. Oh goodness.
It's there, isn't it? Get the planning board out. Get your husband back involved and make it work. I mean, one of the questions I want to ask all the time is like, when did you realise tutoring was a viable career choice? But it feels like it was like almost immediately, like you made a decision and it just happened.
I think what I have to say though, it wasn't just me. So what really kickstarted, I think, is I shared on some Facebook pages, and then my local council phoned me and said, either I've seen or someone's seen that you do tutoring. Would you be interested in doing some through the council? And I think that kind of propelled it to be bigger.
Yeah, but don't do yourself a disservice there, Katie, because you're still putting yourself out there. Like, if you hadn't put yourself out there, nothing would have happened.
Oh, that's true. They wouldn't know.
Right.
They wouldn't know.
I don't generally believe a lot in luck. I know there is, like, people can get lucky, but in your case, you've put yourself out there so people can find you, and someone did. So actually, you've done your job, and then you get stuff coming your way. I think sometimes particularly teachers are like this. We're givers. So we like to give things away, even like parts of ourselves, don't we? We just literally leave parts of ourselves out there, and then when it's our turn to receive it back, even if it's just that praise, like, because you easily could go, well, I put myself out there, I kind of deserve that because that's happened. But lots of us have put ourselves out there and not have the council contact us. I get that, but just happened that some person saw it at the right time, right place. But that wouldn't have happened had you not put yourself out there in the first place. So definitely deserve the praise for that. I mean, that's incredible. And a takeaway for all of us there, if you're just starting out, is contact your local council, because your county council, because there's loads of work out there from them, and they are desperate for particular skill sets. I'm really interested with you talking about the Lego therapy. Is that through Nurture, the Nurture UK or International Nurture?
I can't remember the course provider. It's because one of my students, home educated students, wanted to do it. So through the council, I was able to. They've kind of paid for the training for me to do it.
Oh, that's amazing.
But then I thought I could provide little groups, my little area, and see where that goes, because that would be a nice new, something different. And
definitely amazing. Great. I'm really happy with that. That's amazing that you've put yourself out there, the council get in contact with you, you get a really good relationship of building up. It just seems like for me, relationships are everything, whether it's you're a teacher or a business, those relationships do propel you forward. And maintaining them can sometimes be hard because people move on and people have new ideas. But ultimately, once you're known around those kind of circles, you're okay. Everybody now will be thinking, Richard, please ask about the home ed, because we all want to work with home educated children. So how did you get into the home educated market? What helped you, do you think?
I think two things. I think with the council, I worked with children who couldn't go to school. And they had different special needs, and so that was one type of child kind of thing. And I think because I was sharing that I was with these children during the day, I think it kind of helped me when I was sharing in home educated groups. They kind of saw that I was working with children with different needs during the day, and perhaps it gave them a bit of confidence in me that, perhaps that would have helped. I guess I'm just consistent. I mean, I don't mean to be annoying or anything, but I am consistent in the groups. And I'm just saying, I'm offering this. And I think, I honestly think just being consistent on my page has helped. I think sharing a bit of me and the fact I'm a mum, and, I share little funny things that my daughters say. And I just think they get to know me, because I find that I've heard that sometimes the home educated community can be a bit closed off, a bit guarded about new tutors coming in kind of thing, and kind of saying, promising the world and everything else.
Yeah.
I think they need to build that trust with you. And I think it only takes a couple of them, and then it's just kind of grown from there.
Okay.
I've got some home educated children that are online that I've just through the pages that I've shared in. And then my main student, who is a couple of times a week I think I've got him for 5-6 hours a week. He was suggested to me from the council, so it kind of went through there. So definitely local council is or children's centres, places like that, anywhere that you think there might be children that need your help would definitely a good idea.
I like the fact you're talking about personal brand, whether you're talking about that or not. Like, so when you're putting yourself out there, like, you're building your personal brand, and that is one of the most important aspects of building a business at the moment. People getting to know you is probably the single most important thing that you could do in your business. It's not about having the right names, not about having the right logo, it's not about creating as many services as you can. If someone doesn't know you, or they get to know you but then know about you but they don't actually know you, they can't get to know you because you're not putting out that personal branding kind of thing, which, look, I'm making it business-like, but it's not really exactly what you're talking about. Talk about your family a little bit, share some little bits about your personal life, about, within your own boundaries of what you'd find acceptable. And then people will go, actually, I can relate to this, and I like this person. Okay, what do they do? And then they'll dig a little bit deeper, perhaps send you a message, start liking your posts, leaving comments, sharing you around. That's it. And that is how you start to snowball and get yourself known to other people. You use their network, basically, is what you're doing. So that's really important. That's another big takeaway for everybody. And like, for me, like, I learn from everybody I speak to. I always think, that's a really good idea. Because there's always parts where I think, I could do more there, or I could do more there, and then I forget about it, or something will come up and I'll go, I wish I'd have done that. Or you've missed the moment, so you kind of miss it. So yeah, like, the personal brand is so important, and something I've spoken a lot about in the past. Look, we're actually quite near the end now, so I've got a couple of sort of quick fire questions for you, Katie. All right?
Okay.
I don't know which one to ask first. So I'm going to ask first is, if you had the power to change the current education system, what would you change?
I would look after teachers a lot more.
Okay, what does that look like? If you're looking after teachers, what would you be doing?
Sorry, this was supposed to be quick fire, but
It's okay. No, my question's the quick fire. I don't expect your answer's going to be long, Katie. It's fine. It's okay.
I just think I know so many teachers who are just, they're so stressed and they're tearful and they're, you know, and we were talking earlier about, you know, the weight off your shoulders. I feel that with September coming and the start of a new school term and not having that, it's almost like that Sunday night feeling, but you have it most of August because you're just thinking it's not the children and it's not the teaching because you love that. It's just everything else. It's the observations, it's the learning walks, it's the data, it's the meter, it's everything else. And it's too much. And I just, if I could do anything, it would be to take that away and get teachers to just be teaching. That's what they went in for, and just enjoy their job again, because you know, it's such a shame. And
it's a genuine question, because I mean, I could be saying those words myself. I'm exactly the same.
Yeah.
How do we, like, if we had the power to change it, what does it look like? So you're talking like, you know, there's learning walks, there's observations, there's data, there's, you know, I mean, we could probably go on and on with the list of stuff that teachers have to do and put up with over the course of a term and the course of an academic year. What does it look like? How can we make it less stressful? What would we get rid of? So you said learning walks and observations, right? Let's say, are they gone?
The thing is, I understand why you need them, because you need to be checking, you know, the learning and teaching is, you know, well, and everything's going. I don't know. I know you need all these things really, but it's just, it's looking after the teacher's well-being as well, isn't it? And just, I honestly don't know the answer.
Hard to answer. I mean, I try to play devil's advocate. I always say, like, why do we need them?
Yeah.
What is it for? What is it really for? Like, so is it about teaching and learning? Because there's other ways of measuring teaching and learning. But on a professional level, I've worked in other professional places, never had the same amount of scrutiny as I ever had as a teacher.
Oh, book scrutinies, that's another one.
Well, yeah, but yeah, and even midterm assessments and data, and then pupil progress. Look, there are other ways of doing it, and actually, what we tend to do is everything, we do it all, rather than going, that's useful, they're not.
Yeah.
And we focus on that, because essentially they all do the same.
Yeah.
We're all about assessing whether we're actually doing a good job, or whether that child is learning across the course of 6 weeks, 12 weeks, and so on. So yeah, it's interesting, because everybody, I was saying, everyone answers this differently. Everyone always answers this differently. No one said about the learning walks and observations, but everyone talks about teacher well-being at some level.
Yeah.
And it seems to be off the cards in general, doesn't it? Oh, well, no, we talk about it, don't see a lot of action. So it's interesting that we go down that route. Okay, great. So we're going to make teaching better for teachers.
Yeah.
For the people actually delivering, I like it. Anything else we change in the current education system? What else would you upheave and move about?
I would do a lot more. Well, in an ideal world, it would be all creative curriculum. I'd get outside a lot more. There's lots of restrictions and boxes you had to tick and things. So I mean, that's the amazing thing about tutoring. I mean, I've got children who love, you know, Star Wars and spiders, and you know, and I can go with it and go on their journey with them, and just we'll do a a few weeks on this subject and that, which obviously you can't do as a teacher, but just a bit more freedom in the curriculum, I think, would make a big difference, because the teachers would be passionate about something and put that onto the children, I think.
It's slightly different, because I actually agree with you there. Like the freedom part for me was about letting the curriculum breathe a little bit. I don't feel there's any breathing space.
Yeah.
Like even again, for that, if a teacher's passionate about something, letting them bring that passion in and letting that then infuse the classroom, and those things will help build relationships. But I even just think on a real kind of core curriculum level, maths, there's too much in a maths curriculum per year, for a year group. There's some children are not ready for that year, what's in that year group curriculum. They won't get what's happening in the first 2 weeks, which means they're not going to get what's happening in the third and fourth week. But it's almost like no choice but to just take them there anyway. Like you can't, there's no revisiting.
Yeah. You can't.
And so I'll probably say that every podcast, but I just feel like it's so important. Okay, very last one then, Katie.
Okay.
Who are the inspirational people in your life? And that can be past or present.
Oh, that's a good one. I think, well, I don't want to give him a big ego, but my husband, I think.
Yeah, give him a shout out. That's good.
Yeah. Hello, husband. I think just the way he problem solves and he deals with things, and he's just an amazing person, but he's helping me build my confidence as well. He's very good at doing that. So yeah, I think he's supported this whole tutoring journey and Bessie play journey before that, and everything else.
That's good. So he kind of get on board with like the crazy schemes, the ideas that you have. He'll like try and build you up, and I like that.
Yeah. That's what you need.
What about in the past? Like, what do you think drove you towards becoming a teacher?
Well, actually, I wanted to be a vet. And my career advisor at secondary school said, there's no way, because you won't get A's in science, which I didn't. I got C's. And so I was just looking at things I could do. And I remember my mum just saying, what about a teacher? And I was like, oh, yes, because I'm an only child. So,
Okay.
And it's almost like I want to fill my life with children, both my own and other people's. I don't know if that's a thing. I don't know. But I was like, oh yes. And then since then, it's been brilliant.
Okay, so it started quite. So did you sort of just take that journey towards teaching straight away? You kind of left school.
Yeah, and then college. I did childcare, and then into university, and then and just into teaching, or other. Yeah,
other bits along the way, but always very child orientated.
Yeah, and I just wanted to fill my house with children as well. So yeah.
Yeah, well, you've done that now. You're okay. It's all good. Yes, exactly. Katie, thank you so much for joining me on the podcast. I feel like there's so much people can take from this, that it's sort of jam packed with information that people could use, like just take away and go, I'm going to take that away and use it. And whether it's the Facebook stuff or the local council, and I just feel that people are going to get a lot from what you've shared. So thank you so much. Before we go, one last thing. Is there a question I haven't asked you, something that you'd like to share that we haven't touched base with yet because I haven't asked the right question?
Oh, I don't know. No, I don't think so. Just my last advice for anyone is to just go for it and learn as you go. That would be my one take, because you can learn how to do things. You can learn how to do social media, and also another thing, is you don't need a fancy logo or a fancy website. I mean, my name is Katie's Tutoring. And it's a picture of me. You don't need that. You need people to want you to tutor their children. You want people to like you. You want people to, if you're a mum, use that and say, I get it. The summer holidays have been a little bit tough. Things like that. It's and having that humor, and you're not just this faceless brand. You're a person, and let them get to know you is my advice to anyone.
I think that's the best way to leave it. Thank you, Katie, again. And I'm sure as I get better at doing podcasts, I'll invite you back on, because I'm going to be watching you like a hawk, because if you can achieve what you can achieve in 6 months, I'm like at the edge of my seat thinking, what's she going to do in a year? Give her a year's time. So thank you for sharing everything. I'm sure we'll catch up soon at some point, but thank you.
Oh, no, thank you. This has been lovely. Really good.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. No problem.